This video is sponsored by Outline-Matic, a company that specializes in creating quality, affordable designs for e-commerce sellers. So for example, Outline-Matic will create your packaging design, your logo design. They also do t-shirts, brochures, and infographics. And what I like about them is that they will do unlimited revisions until you are satisfied at one low price. This is unheard of. Not only that, but all the designers are based in the US and there is a 100% money-back guarantee. So if you need a package or logo design or anything design whatsoever, go with Outline-Matic. But welcome all of you guys to the third annual Seller Summit. Tony, is there anyone still outside? Anyone just want to usher in? I see a lot of familiar faces this year, and I'm looking forward to networking with you all. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay out all night last night to hang out with you guys because I had to get up early this morning and prep and that sort of thing. But quick show of hands. First of all, anyone a Warriors fan here? Yeah, they got a big game tonight. During dinner, I know. Oh, you're recording it? Okay. I may join you, actually. But a quick show of hands. How many of you guys are selling on your own shop? Okay, so this is actually a lot more than last year. How many of you are just selling on Amazon? How many of you had a record year-over-year growth from last year? All right, how many of you guys grew like 25% at least? What about 50%? Wow, double? Triple? Oh my God, that's crazy. That's awesome. Well, just want to let you know that Amazon actually grew 31% year over year. And there's no end in sight. Like, the growth is crazy. And one of the statistics that I still, this one surprised me, e-commerce is actually still only 9% of overall retail sales. Now, I don't know about you guys, but it's like the opposite for me. I actually shop online 90% of the time, and I actually only go to the store 10% of the time. And in fact, the other day, I was sitting on my couch, and I needed some floss. So I got online, I got on Google Shopping, and I just ordered some floss, and it was there like the next day. So pretty sweet. So I noticed a lot of you guys smiled at these statistics. And what's funny about it is I presented these statistics to my parents, and I remember 2 years ago when I quit my job to pursue e-commerce full-time, they weren't that excited. In fact, this was their reaction. Now, you got to understand that I was born in a very traditional Asian family. I got straight A's. I went to Stanford, became an engineer, and I was an engineer for 17 years. And so this is the reaction I got. But then I told them how much money that I make selling handkerchiefs. And then they were like, "Are you doing drugs?" So what's funny about this is I don't really want this recorded, but I've changed a little bit. I no longer necessarily think that college is the right answer, and that you actually learn a lot. Yeah, please don't record that part. I'm going to get my Asian membership card revoked. But yeah, e-commerce is a great way to learn a lot of real-life skills. And one of the reasons that I've been trying to introduce my daughter to e-commerce, and that's one of the main reasons I love it when Girl Scout cookie season comes around. And in fact, whenever I sell cookies with my daughter, it's kind of like a barometer for e-commerce. Now, we've been doing this for several years now, and it's gotten harder over the years. Like, how many of you guys think that selling online has gotten a little bit more difficult from year to year, right? Likewise with Girl Scout cookies. So this is our little janky setup where we kind of wheel around the cookies from door to door. But this year, there's like some real setups out there. There's some parents out there that build these things for their kids, and it's really professional. Like, they've stepped up their game. And what's really annoying to me is that we had some spots set up in previous years where they were like gold mines for sales, right? But, you know, when we hit our favorite spots, there were people there this year, right? There were people there this year. Not only that, but there's a lot of bad players now in the Girl Scout cookie space of all places, right? And believe it or not, there are actually people pretending to be Girl Scouts, and they're going around taking pre-orders, taking the money ahead of time, and not delivering on the cookies. And incidentally, if you see anyone who looks like this walking around the halls, do not trust this man. Now, what's funny about all this is that So we got started late in the game in Girl Scout cookies this year. So we started 2 days late, and we went around the neighborhood, and everyone was really ambitious. And by the time we hit our neighbors, they were already sold out. Like, most people only buy a couple boxes, and that's it, right? And so we had a lot of problems. We were even getting turned away by certain neighbors who had already purchased. People were avoiding me. As soon as they saw me, like, they would just walk the other way. And so we had to step up our game this year. And so this is what we did.
It's that time of year again, and you're probably thinking to yourself, oh no, not another Girl Scout cookie offer. I mean, let's face it, there are cute little Girl Scouts everywhere, and we're a dime a dozen. So, to sweeten the pot a little, I'm going to throw in these exclusive bonuses if you buy from me. First off, with any purchase, I'll send you my ultimate guide to Girl Scout cookie recipes for free. These are hand-picked desserts by yours truly, and these recipes are so easy to make, even a 10-year-old can make them. Did you also know that Girl Scout cookies go great with a glass of wine? But which wines go best with each cookie? Don't worry, I've got you covered with my exclusive cookie wine pairing guide. And if that wasn't enough, this year my troop will donate money to the foster kids. A portion of every purchase will help kids in need for homes. By the way, if you don't want to eat the cookies but still want to support me, you can buy a gifted carrying box. Every box sold will either go to the military or the local food bank. Please help my troop and help foster kids in need. Thank you for your support.
So we posted that video on Facebook. Our goal was 150 boxes, 195 boxes, 6 days. Boom. Didn't have to go around the neighborhood anymore. But my point is, with this video, we're obviously not going to be talking about Girl Scout cookies. Things are getting harder, right? Shifting over to e-commerce, the Chinese are dominating, right? Did you know that over 250,000 Chinese sellers joined Amazon last year? And this statistic surprised me. Over 25% of Amazon sellers are in China. So 1 in 4 sellers are actually based in China. And they've got years of exporting experience. They probably have tiger parents like me, right? They have a pricing advantage because they're just really close by. And here's the thing. They don't necessarily have to abide by the same rules. And now, I put exempt from sales tax in this slide, but I wouldn't say that they're exempt, but they just probably don't pay it. Because what's the penalty? They're over there, right? They get heavily discounted shipping. I'm sure you guys have heard of China e-packet. They're willing to take more risks. Believe it or not, for a communist country, they're just so capitalistic over there. It's incredible. Here's the thing. They have a lot of access to additional resources that we don't have. So, for example, they have specific co-working spaces set up just for e-commerce sellers. They have events and seminars every single week. Now, imagine having a seller summit every single week where a whole bunch of people will get together and share ideas. And then the government is in on it too, right? They've put together all these e-commerce parks specifically for sellers, and even the government has issued some tax breaks for Chinese sellers online, right? And of course, they have easy access to suppliers. Every year, or every other year, we go to the Canton Fair, and it's a huge ordeal. We have to get babysitting and that sort of thing. They just have to hop on a train, visit their vendor for an afternoon, and they're back for dinner. Not only that, Amazon has made it a point to attract Chinese sellers as well. And so they started doing this in 2015, and as a result, the number of sellers pretty much doubled in 2015, resulting in 20% overall revenue growth to Amazon's top line. And their growth was exponential in 2017. They got a Chinese version of Seller Central, which I can't read because I can't read Chinese. They have Chinese-speaking support staff. They have end-to-end ocean freight all the way to Amazon's warehouses. And Amazon actually has active training programs to train Chinese to sell on Amazon. Okay? And I don't know how many of you guys have been hit by bad players. Yeah, it's happening to all of us. They don't care. And actually, would you mind stop glaring at me in third row? I'm not the enemy here. You know, I'm getting all these like dirty looks from the audience. But you know, there are people paying for positive and negative reviews. They have hundreds of accounts, so if they get banned, they don't care. They don't care at all. And they're violating the guidelines, the Amazon guidelines, with impunity. Because they get banned, they just have another account, and you can freely buy these accounts over there. Okay? Hope I didn't scare all of you. There is a bright side. This is my buddy, Andrew Udarian. He runs the e-commerce fuel forums. I highly recommend that you join. You have to qualify, however. Andrew's right there. So one thing that he does every single year is he does this survey of all these merchants. And I think this past year there was like 450 merchants that were surveyed. And it turns out, despite all of these Chinese advantages, everyone's still doing pretty well. So the average revenue per store was $2.3 million. The average revenue growth was 36.8% in 2017 among the stores surveyed. And the growth by business model, private label is up 43%, reselling up 27%, and dropshipping, surprisingly, is actually up 32% as well. And here's the key here. The gross margins for all these shops held firm at just a tad under 40%. Okay, which means the reason I'm telling you all these things is we got to step up our game. And the fact that you guys are all here learning, we're going to be able to fight and be competitive with the Chinese sellers. Okay, and so, which brings me to my next point. How do we fight back? Like, how do we compete when the Chinese have so many advantages? And to illustrate this point, I'm going to have the help of my beautiful co-founder of the Seller Summit here, Tony. For all of you guys who didn't get a chance to get to know her, I would say that she likes nice things, but she's more on the frugal side, right? Her face has gotten scared here. And last year, we actually went to the Canton Fair together. And this is a picture in Hong Kong. Have any of you guys actually ever been to the night market in Hong Kong? Yeah, you have to haggle. So I was here just taking this photo, and then you can't really see Tony, but she's there haggling with some Chinese vendor over $5 Chinese for a deck of cards. And for all of you guys who don't know, $5 Chinese dollars, that's like less than $1, right? And she's like vehemently arguing with these people. And I'm like, Tony, dude, you realize this vendor probably makes less than $20 per day. She's like, I don't care. I'm going to get this deal. And I was like, Tony, we got to go. And then at the end, she was like, all right, fine, I'm walking. And then the vendor backed down, and she finally got her deck of cards. But anyways, I just tell this story to just kind of illustrate her personality for my next point, which is, which handbag would Tony buy? She's a big Kate Spade fan. The real Kate Spade is $398. The Cat Spade bag is $50. And the vendor in Hong Kong assured me that it fell off the truck on the way to the Kate Spade store. Tony, I don't know if Tony is carrying this bag today, but I'm not going to tell you which one she got. You should go check. Oh, she does have the bag. You guys can go ask her which one she purchased. But my key point here, she chose the Kate Spade bag, is that it's really important these days to establish a brand. Now, there's a whole bunch of different definitions of brand that I've heard over the years, just online and blog posts. Establishing a brand, it's not about just like slapping your logo on a product. It is not about getting some packaging done with your logo on it. It is much more than that. And just to give you an example here, I went shopping on Amazon for a handbag, and all these handbags are branded, right? But I don't know any of these brands. And here's the thing. When you're shopping and you don't have a strong brand awareness, what ends up happening is people will just buy based on reviews, price, and badges. So for example, I'd probably buy the Amazon's Choice handbag here, right? And so just because you have your brand on a product doesn't mean that there's any brand recognition. That stuff has to be built over time. And for all of you guys who are running your own websites, I just took some statistics from my own. And the best way to actually measure how strong your brand is to look at your direct traffic going over to your site. Now, according to this graph, we had a huge jump in direct traffic from 2015 to 2016 and on, because that was actually the year where I took all this stuff seriously. Email marketing, push notifications, basically bringing back retargeting, bringing the customer back over and over and over again and gaining mind share. Okay, and direct traffic has actually been up 61% since 2015. And there's a lot of key factors here. Content marketing, email marketing, and retargeting. Basically, you have to be able to bring your customer back over and over and over and over again until they are actually ready to buy. And it's very difficult to do this on Amazon alone. And so that's why for today, in the presentations, if you guys are interested in building your brand, I've invited these 4 speakers. Now, Xiaohui, he actually goes by X, and you guys can feel free to call him X. He is going to be giving a session on email marketing. Back when I met him, I think 3 or 4 years ago, he actually helped me with all my automated campaigns on Klaviyo. So I highly recommend that you go to his talk. Zach Smith, he is a crowdfunding expert. And if you're kind of new to this and you want to just launch a product brand new and perhaps fund your first inventory, a lot of times you can get a lot of buzz early on and a lot of traction by building an email list through crowdfunding, which is why I invited Zach today. Reza, he is the CEO of Shoelace. And what Shoelace does is they create retargeting journeys on Facebook. So basically, when you're on Facebook, all the retargeting ads basically tell a story and give you a lot more mind share about your brand. And then Mike Jackness, he's going to be talking about how to use Facebook Messenger marketing, once again, to increase mind share, bring your customer back over and over again through Facebook Messenger. Okay, and so if you're interested in starting a brand, I highly recommend that you go to these 4 talks. And the sponsors, of course, were also specifically chosen for this event. Shoelace, as I mentioned before, they do all the automated retargeting journeys for you if you guys are on a Shopify store. BigCommerce is a fully hosted shopping cart that I recommend. You need a place to bring your customers back to, right? And so that means you need a website where you can actually take orders. So BigCommerce is a great fully hosted cart that has all the functionality out of the box that you might need. Outline-Matic is another sponsor, and what they do is they do all the graphics and artwork for your packaging and that sort of thing. And what I really like about Outline-Matic is that they will do unlimited revisions of your brand until you are satisfied with it. And then finally, you're going to need a trademark, not only to get brand registered, but once you have your brand, you're going to need to protect it. And what I like about Total TM, there's a lot of trademarking services out there, but what I like about them is they actually do your trademark monitoring for you, and they also will issue cease and desist letters for you in case you get hijacked and that sort of thing, all included in the price. How many of you guys have heard of this company called Forearm Forklift? Okay, so basically this was a company, and it's basically a set of nylon straps. That's all it is, and it allows you to lift very heavy objects and move them around your house or wherever you need to move them. And this company, I think they made like almost $10 million back in 2008. But then what happened was they got hijacked by a bunch of Chinese knockoffs. And at the time, they only had a single product. I think even today, they only have like 1 or 2 products. And as soon as they got knocked off, immediately their profits plummeted because everyone was going for the cheaper alternative. And I think in 2015, they made like $500 in profit for the year. They complained to Amazon. They had a patent and everything. But Amazon took its time in getting them kicked off. And by then, it was too late. They had to lay off a bunch of people. I actually just checked a couple of weeks ago, and all the hijackers are off now. And so I think they're back in business. But I just want to show you, alert you to some of the risks that are involved. How many of you have actually sold a product on Amazon successfully in the past, but over the years, as it's gotten discovered, the sales have kind of slowed and not grown over the years? Yeah. And one of the reasons, and there's a lot of courses out there that'll teach you to find a niche that is underrepresented, and then sell a product in there. But the problem is what a lot of people are doing is that they're just taking a product and they're just listing it on Amazon as is, straight from the manufacturer, without any sort of value add. And these days, in today's day and age, as it's getting more competitive, you really have to think about building more defensible products. And as you can see here, we always use the garlic press as an example. Thank you, Scott, for that. But if you go shopping for garlic presses, every listing on the front of Amazon looks the same. And when that happens, guess what? It's a crapshoot which one people are going to buy on. They're probably going to just buy on price, which is something that you absolutely don't want happening. All right, and so based on, especially the story with Forearm Forklift, your e-commerce business is kind of at risk if you only sell a couple of products only on Amazon. You only sell on one marketplace, whether that be Etsy, Amazon, Walmart, your own site, whatnot. If you don't have your own customer base, and if you don't know how to drive your own traffic to your website. And so This next list of talks will help you kind of diversify your business and establish a long-term business, e-commerce business. So Bernie Thompson, he is the CEO of Efficient Era and Pluggable. He is an 8-figure seller online. He is going to be talking about how he diversified part of his business on Walmart. Okay? I'm going to be talking about how to diversify on your own website, in addition to some other things. Mainly how to scale on your own website as well as Amazon without adding additional products. Greg Mercer is the CEO of Jungle Scout. He's going to be talking about selling oversized products. Now, we were kind of all taught that since we're shipping stuff, it should be small, fit in a shoebox, so we don't have to worry that much about shipping. But what's easy is often not the best answer, right? If you do something that's more difficult, like sell oversized items where there's less competition, you can be more successful that way. You just have to be willing to do the work. Daniel Solid, he was a speaker at the first Seller Summit. He's going to be talking about how he has diversified his business off of Amazon and strengthened his brand with patents and that sort of thing. Scott Volker, he's the CEO of The Amazing Seller. I'm sure you guys are familiar with who he is. He's going to be talking about how to launch a 6-figure brand in 2018. And finally, Casey, he is the CEO of Viral Launch. He is going to teach us how to do product research to add more products to the portfolio so we're not dependent on that one product for all of our revenues. Now, another way to diversify that we didn't really discuss is you can start selling overseas in Europe, Canada, Japan. And oftentimes when you have to do so, dealing with all the taxes and that sort of thing is a huge hassle. So that's why I encourage you guys, if you're considering expanding overseas, go talk to Avalara. It is like a one-stop shop to handle all of your tax needs. Viral Launch, this is Casey's tool. It's a great research tool. I actually just started using it recently. Market intelligence and product discovery. And they also have a keyword research tool that is excellent. Sellers funding. So one of the unfortunate aspects of e-commerce, and I'm sure if any of you guys who are really successful in e-commerce knows, is that you have to feed the machine, right? Once you make your sales, immediately you have to put that money back into inventory once again. And oftentimes cash flow can be a crunch. And so what Sellers Funding does is it provides you with loans so that you can keep the warehouses full and keep the buy box on Amazon. And finally, if you want to diversify, and this is something that Dana loves to do, she loves to buy and sell businesses. If you guys are interested in buying and selling businesses, go talk to FE International. And once again, all these companies have a booth outside. One thing that I've noticed for people who only sell on Amazon is that they are actually afraid because they don't know how to drive their own traffic. So that's why as part of this year's Seller Summit, we're going to have a curriculum specifically to address pay-per-click marketing. So Google, Facebook, Amazon-sponsored ads. And here are the talks. Brett is going to be talking about Google Shopping. This guy, he runs OMG Commerce. He actually ran my Google Shopping campaigns for a little bit. And I'm going to be doing a case study on that on the blog. But he really knows his stuff. So if you guys are interested in Google Shopping, I encourage you to go to his talk. Edward, he is from Seller Labs. And he's going to be giving a talk on advanced Amazon-sponsored product ads. And I specifically asked him to give kind of like a more advanced session because a lot of the common knowledge can be found online, but he's going to be going into very specific tactics that you can use. And he actually runs, I think, Edward, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Edward runs a lot of the high-profile campaigns for Seller Labs for their tool. And finally, Reza again, he's going to teach us how to do Facebook sequential dynamic ads retargeting, basically how to establish stories, tell a story with your ads so that you can gain mind share with your business. And once again, the tools here, Shoelace, once again, will handle your Facebook retargeting ads for you. Ignite is the tool that I use to manage my Amazon-sponsored product ads. And Scope is a tool that allows you to do keyword research, reverse ASIN lookups, so you know which keywords to bid on for your Amazon-sponsored product ads and to create your listing as well. So here's a huge thing. One thing that, the big negative, I guess, about selling on Amazon versus selling on your own site is that when you sell on Amazon, there's not a whole lot of repeat business, right? And here are some really interesting quotes that really struck me over the years. 61% of small business owners report that more than half of their revenue comes from repeat customers. Now imagine going to the new year with already 50% of the revenue knowing that you're already going to get 50% of the revenue that you made the prior year. And that's kind of how you build things up, right? That's how you make things snowball. You establish a base of customers, and then everything that you gain in the following year is just all incremental. It can cost 5x more to acquire a new customer than to keep current ones. Here's a statistic that really stuck out in my mind. A 5% increase in customer retention can increase a company's profitability by 75%. That's crazy. And a 2% increase in retention has the same effect as decreasing costs by 10%. And all these quotes are from very reputable publications. So here's what I did. I took some statistics from my own store. Keep in mind, as you're looking at these statistics, is that we're in the wedding industry. Unless people are getting divorced, like every 3 months or so, we're not really going to get repeat business. But if you look at our statistics, 12% of our customers actually buy more than once, and they represent 36% of our revenues every single year. This is from repeat customers. And 51% of our revenue is actually from our top 10% customers. And what you'll notice here is all the repeat customers, and I'm going to go over this in my talk later, but a lot of these people are B2B customers. They're people who are businesses, and they're willing to buy in bulk on a regular basis, and they want more attention. They want more hand-holding. And as you establish these relationships with your repeat customers, they basically become a fan for life, because repeat customers will buy again and again from people they trust. This is why Tony buys Kate Spade instead of Kate's more talented younger sister, Kat Spade. Okay, and so here are the talks that are going to be related to that. Brad Moss is going to be talking about how to get repeat business on Amazon. I'm going to talk about how to get repeat business on both Amazon and our own site. Incidentally, Brad is the former head of Seller Central for Amazon. He's one of the first guys who developed the tool, so he really knows his stuff. Dana, she is a good friend of mine. We're in the same mastermind group, and her talk was a big hit last year. Dana is going to talk about how to get higher profits and reduce your stress in 15 minutes or less. It's kind of a mysterious title. I personally did not think that it could be done in less than 20 minutes, but apparently Dana has the answer. Here are the tools of the trade to get more, and I'm going to go over how I use Efficient Era to get repeat customers. Efficient Era, of all the tools, it's actually the no-brainer one to sign up for if any of you guys aren't signed up for it. For what it does, it is by far the least expensive tool out there. It can do your email feedback for you. It has some alerts. I use it to kind of analyze all the Amazon transactions, so I can kind of collate that data nicely and take action upon it. So I encourage you guys to go check it out. Product Labs, this is Brad's company, and I think it might still be in beta. I'm not sure. He showed me a demo of it. But it allows you to extract demographic information about your Amazon customers so that perhaps you can market to them outside of Amazon. So go talk to Brad if you want more information. Now, how many of you guys get your shipment from China, you chose your freight forwarder or whatnot, and you never tried to haggle ever again? Like you're happy with your shipment, and that's that, right? Turns out that there's a lot of ways to waste money along your supply chain if you're not paying attention. Right? So the Chinese have the advantage, of course, but we have the advantage because we have both Pam and Nathan here today. Pam has been running HYC Logistics, which is a freight forwarding company, for decades, I want to say. She's got a lot of experience, and so she's going to be doing a Q&A session with me where she's just going to be answering all of your freight forwarding questions and basically how to get the best deal transporting your items from Asia to your own warehouse. Nathan is the CEO of Sourcify, and his company basically helps very large companies source their products. He's very knowledgeable. I had him on the podcast, and I met him at the Hustle conference, and we've chatted in depth, and he really knows his stuff as well. And of course, Pam's company, HYC Logistics, especially if this is your first time perhaps shipping something from China, I encourage you guys to go talk to her. Her personality is awesome. She is very responsive, and if you need hand-holding throughout the entire process, Pam is your woman with HYC Logistics. How many of you guys have gone through and actually tried influencer marketing? Okay, it doesn't look like that many. Well, guess what? Customers are 77% more likely to buy from someone they trust, right? And so this is actually a little video that I created. It's my wife and my daughter cooking together. And we had this influencer. She has a really strong Facebook fan page. Just post it. All she did was just post it and said, hey, oh my stars, how cute are these? Use this coupon code. And almost $1,000 almost instantly because they trust her. And my daughter's pretty cute. So anyways, in related to influencer marketing, I encourage you guys to go talk to Andrea Deckard. She's actually not speaking this year, but she is available. She knows a whole lot of bloggers. She has a lot of connections, and she is an expert in this field. And she will be having a roundtable here as well. This video just makes me really happy. I don't know. And finally, I want to encourage you guys to keep your company really lean. It's very tempting to just go out and hire a whole bunch of staff, spend a whole lot of money. But the bonus of running an e-commerce business is that you actually don't need a lot, especially with Amazon handling all of your fulfillment and that sort of thing. You want to just be very careful about how you spend it. And the companies that I chose to represent the Seller Summit this year are Second Office. And what Second Office does is they will find you a Filipino VA that specializes in e-commerce. We actually just hired our first Filipino VA 2 weeks ago through Second Office. And I can tell you that the person that they hired for us was way better than anyone that we've ever interviewed in the United States, ever, at the fraction of a cost. What's nice about the Philippines is they all speak English, and they are very, very talented and well-educated. And just the cost of living over there is just significantly lower. As you guys are selling online, you're probably going to have a whole ton of listings. And at least what I found over the years is that it's impossible to monitor them all, right? So one of your listings might get hijacked, suspended. Someone might be piggybacking on it. What AMZ Alert does is it monitors all of your listings for you. And in case something bad happens with your listings, you are instantly alerted to it. Okay, and so I encourage you guys to visit these companies if you're interested in getting a VA or if you're interested in getting real-time alerts for your Amazon products. And of course, I want to introduce you to our hosts. You already know who I am. Tony Anderson is my co-founder for the event. If any of you have anything positive to say or positive feedback, feel free to talk to either me or Tony. And if you have any issues, feel free to talk to the woman wielding the knife in this picture. Liz Saunders is a member of the team, and she'll help you with whatever you need. And finally, you guys received these punch cards when you guys signed up. Were you guys explained to what these punch cards are for? Okay. Just in case I'm going to repeat it, I apologize. As you guys are going from vendor to vendor, get this card punched, and at the end, we're just going to do a raffle with a bunch of cool prizes, okay, if you get the card completely punched. And I know there's been a bunch of confusion about the roundtables and the sessions. Just keep in mind that you are allowed to attend any session that you want. What you signed up for the roundtables, that's going to occur on Saturday. That's going to be a much more intimate environment where we're getting around in roundtables with certain speakers and moderators who will basically be there to answer any questions that you have about the talks. So that's what the stickers on the name cards are for. Those are for the roundtables. You are free to go to any session that you want. Okay? And one thing I forgot, I just want to embarrass Nathan. It's his birthday today also. So if you see Nathan Resnick lying around, just wish him a happy birthday. But I'm really excited for all the content that we have here. I hope you guys enjoy all the sessions. I hope all the vendors that we had come are actually very valuable to your business. And enjoy the day.